Hey everybody, happy spring. Just want to sit down with you and talk to you about getting ready for spring and capturing swarms. This is something I've been doing the past couple of years. Instead of retrieving bees out of a tree, it's a lot easier to put up a swarm trap. What I've done is just gotten some friends or neighbors that don't mind me putting a swarm trap on a tree in their yard. They keep an eye on it for me. I kind of explain to them what to look for, but I'll kind of go over just the basics of what I do in prepping for a swarm season. I've got about 7 or 8 of these swarm traps here. They're just plywood boxes, fairly easy to make, though I have somebody else make them for me. I'll put some links where I can suggest for you to get them if you don't want to make your own. But one of your best baits for swarm traps is an old frame of brood comb, this dark dingy stuff. If you don't have one, maybe reach out to another beekeeper that's swapping out some frames. It doesn't have to be a full frame, it could just be some old comb. Put one of these in here, that's a really good bait. You want this swarm trap to smell like a bee colony. You want it to feel safe when the bees come in. So one of these, the other 4 frames can be just a empty frame with a little starter strip, like a popsicle stick with some beeswax on it. It doesn't even have to be that, just some empty frames in there. So the reason being is when the bees enter into the hive, they flop their wings back and forth, creating an echo, and they can tell the volume actually of this container. And so what we're doing with these traps, it's basically the same equivalent as a 10 frame deep, but it's vertical instead of horizontal. So what I've got up top is 5 frames, or 5 wooden frames, one with comb on it. The others can be empty, but having the others without comb on there actually creates more volume in the bee's mind, so you have a better chance of them selecting your trap. Couple of other things that I use. This is Swarm Commander. It's a proprietary blend. It's got lemongrass oil in here, but it's got some other secret stuff too. But if you can't get this, lemongrass oil can also work. I just like the convenience of this being in a spray, and it's worked well for me. Some of the other people I follow to create little vials of lemongrass oil that you can unscrew the cap, drop this in there, and it does like a little slow release in there, but that's a good little thing to have. The other thing I really like are these UV blue entrance discs. I've got them on my swarm traps now. There's been research done that they've actually tested UV blue, which bees are attracted to in flowers. Something resonates with the scouts that they choose this UV blue. You can look in Bee Culture magazine. They actually did a study on this over a couple years, and every swarm they had a test with a blue one and I think a white one, and they always chose the blue. They even switched the swarm traps from one another. But basically, as far as where to hang them, I don't like to hang them in full sun or deep shade, kind of a mix of the two. The bees are going to be, the scout bees, which are 10% of a colony, have 2 roles. One is to find the best nectar source and report that back to the hive, and 2 is to find a new place to live should they outgrow their old colony. They will send out these scouts to check out a variety of different locations, which could be an old beehive, could be somebody's shed, could be a swarm trap, and it's up to you to make this the best Airbnb that they choose. So the scouts show back up the hive, do a little waggle dance, get the one that gets the most attention and has the best sales pitch, they follow. They'll take half the colony with them, with the old queen, and hopefully land in your box. Sometimes they don't make it there. They'll land up in a tree or something, but I've caught 13 swarms last year, so this is a really good way to do it. Some of the other tricks I've learned too, I don't know if I buy this or not, but old queens that I've killed, I put them in a little jar with isopropyl alcohol, and I'll dip a Q-tip in there and dump that in. So that's another thing you can do. I do have another thing here too. Instead of putting a nail into a tree, these hooks are really nice. These are like a steel hook, and they come with a strap, a little cinch strap that goes around the tree. I'll put a link on these as well, but they're really solid. You can use a ratchet. Well, you can't really use a ratchet strap because you have to thread them through, but you can wrap these around a tree without putting a nail in it. I have a bunch of these, and then I can swap out straps if I got a wider tree. What I'll usually do is, my traps have a hole at the top, so I can hang this off here. I can easily take it down, put it back up easily, and then I'll put a ratchet strap around the outside, so if there's any wind blowing or somebody knocks it, it doesn't do anything. So that's that. What else can I tell you? Just reach out to your neighbors. My first question is do you see bees in your yard? Because if you have bees, if they're seeing bees, somebody's keeping bees nearby. So there's a good chance that they might choose the trap if they're looking to swarm. So I'll put some links on these products up here. I don't get any residual from them, but if they help you out, that's great. I did attend the Kentucky Bee Expo this year and bought one of these from a guy. This is called the Bee Catch. Excuse me, Bee Catch. And this is kind of ingenious. This actually, you hook this onto a frame and tighten this little thumb screw. And this would be attached to a pole that you'd raise up in the air. So if you had a swarm that was up in a tree, all you need is an extension pole and an old frame. You can spritz a little lemongrass oil on there, put that right under the swarm. 9 times out of 10, they'll crawl right on this frame, queen and all, and you can pull them down. So I'm going to be trying these out too. I got a couple of these in my arsenal. So anyway, feel free to ask any questions you have. I'll try to answer them, but you can go with a swarm box like this. If you're on a budget and have some old 5-frame nukes, I've actually doubled those up. I've actually stacked one on top of one of the other and just put a nail on, put a piece of plywood on the side and screwed that together so you get the same volume. As long as you close up any light coming in and keep it solid, those do work as well. I've got several in that setup as well. So anyway, have a good spring and hopefully you'll get some bees. Thanks.